Good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time of day you personally have over there. Have a wonderful day today. I thought I would go live and talk today about giving ourselves permission to say no. When we've been in an abusive relationship for such a long time, we have learnt, we've been conditioned to basically acquiesce to the other person's will. Whatever they want happens, whatever they need happens, whatever we want doesn't matter, whatever we need doesn't matter. And only one person's opinion counts, and that's theirs. And not acquiescing to that, sort of going against what they want is actually quite a brave move, and is something that causes us great fear of repercussions, and it causes us great fear of, if I say no, they're going to kick off. That it's not going to be good for me. I don't know how it's not going to be good for me, but it's not going to be good for me in whatever way, shape, or form that they choose to retaliate, shall we say. And I know that it turned me into very much a people pleaser. I was afraid to say no to people. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't feel like I could say no. I had that built-in kind of button that overrid my wants and needs and my life, that said I had to do what everybody else wanted. So basically a lack of I don't quite know how to phrase it. It's not a lack of ability to say no. We have the ability, but there is also a massive threat to us actually forming those words and saying them out loud. And when you have been in that situation for so long, it's a conditioned response. It's a conditioned response from a stressful threat situation, which triggers your fight, flight, or fight response. It goes straight to the amygdala. You don't say no, because if you say no, something bad's going to happen. Something really bad's going to happen. So when we leave those relationships, or when we are working our way out of those relationships, when it's safe to do so, we have to relearn how to say no. And we have to relearn it in baby steps. So we have to practice, for want of a better word, we have to practice how to say no, because saying no has for so long been a bad thing, and now saying no is suddenly a good thing. And why is it a good thing to say no? Because you have a right to do the things that you want to do. You have a right to live your life as you want to live it, and for your own protection, for your own preservation, for the sake of your children. You need to practice this. You need to show them that it's okay to say no, because when you teach somebody that it's not okay to say no, they end up getting hurt. They end up getting abused, because other people will take advantage of them. So we have to model this kind of suddenly found thing that we need to do, which is say no, which has always been really dangerous. For the sake of the children, sorry, I bit my tongue there. That really hurt. We have to learn to say no. And that's the bottom line of it. So what I would suggest is that you start practicing saying no. So you start with the small things. You start with the people that are not threatening. So if you have a brother, sister, mother, father, somebody in your life that's very amenable, then you can have a discussion with them about practicing how to say no. So what you want to do is you want them to get you started saying no on things. You need to be able to say no to certain things that they ask you to do, or they ask you to be involved with, because you need to be able to say no in a safe space. So the only way to do it is to practice. You are allowed to say no. You are perfectly entitled to say no without fear of retribution. And you don't need permission to say no. And if you do feel like you need permission to say no, I'm giving you that permission now. Okay? I am not advocating that you say no in a dangerous situation where it's going to endanger you or the people around you. I'm saying that you need to practice saying no in a safe space, and then build build on it like Lego blocks. You need to build up that courage and start building that repetition, practice. You need to learn to say no. And you start off with saying no to the little things. And then you start working up to the bigger things. And then the bigger things again. And then the bigger things again. Until you get to the point where I am, which is like, you just don't care. You're quite happy to say no. And you don't have to explain yourself. And no can be used as a complete sentence. And I was that person that could not say no. I was that person that lived in fear of saying no. I had to keep them happy because it was not worth my life living if I didn't say what they wanted me to say or do what they wanted me to do. That was the situation I was in, and I didn't feel safe. Whether it was safe or not is irrelevant. I didn't feel safe in saying no. So you have to practice with the little things and start with the little things and then build your way up. And the only way to master it is repetition. So if you need to set yourself a goal of saying no at least once today, then set that goal. And then tomorrow, maybe build up to twice. And then the day after, maybe build up to 3 times. This is something that you have to be intentional about, because if you don't think about it and do it as an intentional thing, it will just drift past you, and you will forever be scared of saying no. So if you want to be able to take control of your situation, take control of your life, and start to build a life that you want to live, then you have to be able to take control of it. And that means, I'm afraid, saying no to people. So it's part and parcel of finding your power. It's part and parcel of finding your strength. It's part and parcel of becoming you again and becoming the you that you were always meant to be. That woman full of power, that person that can take on the world, that person that can make a difference, because you'll be making a difference for somebody else in this world. And whatever that difference is, it doesn't matter whether that difference is big or little. Making a difference, that's where the power is. So I honestly believe that, like any skill, practice makes perfect. And you can't compare yourself just literally walking out of an abusive relationship where you can't say no to somebody like me who's been out for years that is now able to say no quite happily. You cannot do a comparison, because I'm so much further along that journey than you are. It's like comparing a child that's just begun to walk to Usain Bolt, who can run 100 meters in, under 10 seconds. There is no comparison, because there is so much time between them. There's so much practice between them. There is so much effort, so much strategy. Yeah. So you cannot compare yourself to anybody else that's on their journey. You can just do your own speed. And I would urge you to be very intentional about it. Practice with safe people. Talk to them about what you're doing and why you're doing it, so that they understand that you're not just suddenly becoming difficult, that you're saying no because you need to practice. And it may be that you practice saying no, and then you say to them afterwards, actually, I did want to go. That's okay. But you just need to practice being able to say no. And if you tell them that that's what you're doing, if you are intentional about it and you have that conversation, then they will understand, and it will be fine. And that's a safe space to be able to say no. So I would urge you for this week, for homework, if you like, practice saying no. Maybe keep a tally on a notepad sat beside you at work on your desk of every time you say no. And maybe sometimes you'll be really brave and you'll say no to, the boss wants you to do overtime and you always say yes. Actually say, no, sorry, I can't do it today. You don't have to explain. You don't have to acknowledge. You don't have to give them a reason. You can just say, so I'm really sorry, I can't do it today. I've got other plans. It doesn't matter what those plans are. Yeah. If you have always been the people pleaser, try not being the people pleaser for a change. Try just, doing what you want to do instead of what everybody else wants you to do, because it's all part of growing up. And I think we are conditioned as babies, as children, to be good, don't cause an argument, apologize. I don't care whether it was your fault or not, just keep the peace. Take the blame. Just take the blame and get on with it. When the teacher says you have to be friends with somebody else, even though they've just whacked you over the head with a book, you have to have a hug and make up, because you have to be friends with the bully. All of those things are conditioning us to be subservient. Why? Why do we have to be subservient? Why do we have to acquiesce to somebody else's rights? Because why are their rights greater than ours? Because surely they're all equal. So something to have a little think about this week, something to have a little ponder about, because this will affect every single area of your life. If you are having to be subservient in one area of your life, then it will be impacting every other area of your life, whether that be negatively or positively. That will be impacting. So you need to understand it. You need to see what you're doing. You need to kind of work out what's happening there, and decide whether you are actually saying no because you want to, or you're saying yes because you want to, or you're saying yes because you feel that you have to. So there we go. Bit of food for thought. So I will leave you on this lovely Monday, and enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you on Thursday. Take care. Bye.